It is not Thursday. It's Wednesday. We're coming to you a day early here at Spitball Media Podcast. We're going to spit out the top entertainment stories of the week, watch a few trailers, cover some news, talk about some shit. My name is John Draper. Shah, I'm all thrown off that it's Wednesday.
I am too, man. Wednesday, it's a rough day because it's middle of the week, man. This shit is dragging, but I'm happy to be here.
I am happy to be here, and of course, he looks fantastic. He looks like he's about 2 months out from getting a gorgeous side piece in his life, Mr. Bisha O'Brien. Bisha O'Brien, how are you on this Wednesday? Did we mess up your schedule?
No, I agree with Shah. This week is dragging for some reason, and it felt like a Thursday. I'm sitting around. I'm like, okay, tomorrow's Friday, and then I realized I have a whole other full day.
I know.
So, and I don't need that kind of heat. I don't need what do you call it, gumar?
Gumar, yeah. Well, yeah. If you were in the mob, we would call it a gumar.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of heat. I got enough trouble being married. I don't need a second one. I don't know how people fucking do that shit. That's honest.
Yeah, it's rough. It's like a whole separate life. It's like you got to create a whole separate person. But I don't do it either. But what we do here is we talk about top media stories around the entertainment landscape, from film, streaming, a little bit of music, some social media stuff, maybe wrestling occasionally, not so much, the comic book world, things of that nature, the horror industry, and we do it each and every week. We also have a Patreon if you're joining us for the first time. $5 a month will get you well over 1,000 hours of exclusive content going back, like 4 years. We got tons of stuff on there, Shot, and it's only $5 a month.
Yeah, man. I talked about we were going to possibly do some themed shows, so hopefully we at least bang out 1 or 2 of those a year.
Yes.
I think that would be cool to kind of do it for like special, occasions and shit like that. But yeah, dude, there's tons and tons and tons on Patreon. You can scroll back for the next 6-7 minutes and you'll still have episodes on that page. So tons of content for you to check out. It's a good time to go and subscribe on there and support us, and we appreciate you.
And Bisha O'Brien, are you giving the people a little something this weekend?
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. Maybe this weekend, maybe next week sometime. I've been up trying to finish that Tourist Trap House of Wax video.
Oh yeah, you've been talking about that for a bit.
It's taken me forever. I think I did 2.5 hours last night, and I did like 2.5 minutes
my God.
worth of editing. So,
good Lord.
Yeah. So
who has the time?
No one does. I don't know. Like, I see these channels, like We Watch the Movies, a pretty funny channel. I'll see like a trailer come out, and then boom, they've got a trailer review up right away, and then the next day, this new video game's coming out. It's like, how the fuck do you guys do that? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's rough and tumble. But what's not rough and tumble, Shah, is that $5. And of course, Shah, the staple really of the Patreon at the end of the day isn't just the exclusive catalog and every episode. It's the monthly question and answer show, which is really worth the price of admission.
Yeah, overall, just the Q&A makes it a lot more personable because you guys literally become a part of the show versus just listening to us pick topics. You get to choose the topics essentially. So I really like that aspect of it. I've always enjoyed the Q&As, and I think, honestly, they're getting better and better. Last one was 2.5+ hours. So
I know, it really was.
Fucking loaded. But yo, while we're on the plugs, I want to plug one of my friends real quick if you guys don't mind.
Absolutely.
Check her out. She's an artist. He is on Living Dead Design Co.etsy. If you want to blow this up real quick.
Oh, okay.
Almost there.
I can't find yours. There we go.
There you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's on Etsy. She actually made this for me. It's a little pug. It's Millie, my dog that passed away.
Oh my God.
So a little cute little.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, she does painting. She does all kinds of different art. So.
And what's that? What's the website again for Etsy? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's Living Dead Design Co.etsy. Once again, I'll put it on the screen so you can see it.
Wow. Now, does this person do custom shit, or was that done?
Yeah.
Okay.
She did this from scratch. I even picked out the colors and everything. So,
Bisha, how awesome is that?
That's fantastic, dude. People are so talented, and they think of shit that like I would not even think of doing. So, and speaking of thinking of doing stuff, like these guys were saying, the Patreon, the Q&A is worth the price of admission alone. It is more personal. It's not us picking what we think would be the coolest stories in entertainment or late breaking news. It's stuff
No,
you
we don't
guys are
pick anything.
interested in, and it's awesome.
Yeah, we don't pick anything.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's so yeah, it's very true, B show, because like that's what makes the show so special is that there's no limit on the questions. It's anybody from the Patreon could ask anything they like. It could be completely unrelated to anything we've ever covered. It could be something we covered a long time ago. Sometimes it's very personable. And again, the only way to get there, $5 a month, is by going to patreon.com/spitball media. B show, who do we got chilling in the old Chattaroosty?
Quite a few people. We got Rich Dow. Hey now.
Now, Rich Dow.
We've got Robbie Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Got that name right. Joe Punches, Chris Matthews, our buddy Marquise hanging out. Slave Cheeks is there. Terrell.
Damn.
Classy Jeff showed up. He's
Classy
curious why
Jeff,
we're on
what's up,
tonight.
dude? Yeah, so yeah, I had to move the show. So we wanted to, I couldn't do the show tomorrow, but there was so much going on in entertainment this week, as there's been really the last month or so has just been shot. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened, but it seems like a switch went on with entertainment news, and we have to omit almost as much as we talk about.
Yeah, for sure, man. And real quick, Rich Dow says he hit me up on Facebook. I didn't get anything on Facebook. So I'll check my
I sent
message
him
request.
I sent him your Facebook. He asked me for your Facebook. I didn't think you would mind.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's so strange.
Don't see anything.
Were you looking for Hey Now Rich Dow? Because he does answer to that. now.
No.
Hey now, Rich Dow. This is what they call me now. Yeah.
No,
I
try again. I don't see anything on my end, so I don't want you
Hey
to feel
now,
like I'm
Rich Dow.
ignoring you. I just don't see it.
Yes. Well, Rich Dow, clearly we're not ignoring you. That's for damn sure. And Rich Dow, thank you for Brian help you with a bunch this week. Thank you, Rich. Thank
My
you.
pleasure, man. I wish I could have helped you a little bit more, but I kind of limited my resources on that one.
Well, hey now, Rich Dow. He's got a lovely podcast as well. Thanks to everybody chilling in the old chat. So I just want to lead with this because we talked about this movie quite a bit, and I did go see it. Saturday morning, I went and saw Cuckoo. It was not released in a lot of theaters, guys. It was playing very specific times in one movie theater by me. And my theater was quite crowded, for all things being equal, for such a small market film. And B-Show, I think they said Cuckoo was $1 million budget and it made $3 million this weekend.
Something like that. Yeah, let me pull it up.
Not too shabby.
I thought you were going Alien, so I was trying to pull up that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
picture
just
you
wanted to
sent
get the
me.
Cuckoo out of the way because I
That's
can't
all right.
really talk about the plot. But Shah, we've hyped up this movie quite a bit. We were all very curious about what it was about. And I just want to say this without talking too much about it. It is not what I thought it would be at all. What are we working with there, B-Show, before I get Shah there? I just want to...
Looks like it opened at 3 million out of 1,500 theaters.
It's not a lot of
Worldwide, it's 3.9 million so far.
And do we know the budget? Somebody said the budget was a little over $1 million.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Let me
That's what it
find the
seems
budget.
about. Yeah, Shah, I mean, we were talking this movie up. We didn't know. $7 million. Oh, that's not good. That's strange because it's shot overseas. I thought that would save some dough there. Shah, I know you're curious about the film. I know Bishop's curious about the film. But when I say, and I will not tell you the plot, but it is not what I thought it was. I was definitely off, and I was surprised.
Man, I'm kind of saddened to hear that it only made 3.5 on a 7 million budget, because I mean, it has to essentially make like 14 million for it to be considered profitable, and clearly it's not going to be profitable probably. I've heard pretty much nothing but good things. Most people said they were surprised that's not what they were expecting. I got some reviews that said it was more sci-fi than horror. Some people were saying it was too artsy, and they were trying way too hard to be artsy, which again, if it's a weird movie and it's coming off as too artsy, I'm probably going to like it. So,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm not complaining. Whatever turned people off is probably going to get my dick hard. So I'm good with it,
Yeah. Bisha, what have you heard about the film now? It seems like the critic score is outpacing the audience score quite a bit there.
62 to 78. I'm curious to see it. I kind of had a feeling it was almost, I got Village vibes from it, from M. Night Shyamalan. Like, we think it's one thing and it's going to be another. So that can be good. That can be bad depending on the payoff. I'm hearing good things so far, so I'm kind of excited for it. But, one thing Johnny Boy on Twitter asked us, and I know we wanted to talk about it. I figured it dovetailed with this topic. his question was, how are you feeling with the current trend of misdirects and trailers in comparison to the actual film? And I think this would fall into that. Is it such a departure from what you think it is that it kind of takes you out of it, or does it make the film better?
No, it's okay. So, and I know we're all going to have probably a similar opinion on this. It doesn't bother me if it's good. So the fact that I thought this was one type of movie and it was not at all, that didn't bother me. It surprised me. And not all surprises are bad. I think if it's good, like if you're telling me this is the scariest film of the year, and then I see it and it's not, let's say, and I'm not trying to throw any movie under the bus, or this is the goriest film of all time, and then I see it and it's not gory, I get a little annoyed that I feel like I was misled. But in this case, nobody told me what I thought this movie was. I made this up myself, interpreted it from the trailer. So I think if it's good, we'll forgive it. Shah, what did you think? Because I do feel like we have noticed an uptick in misdirection of trailers.
And honestly, I mean, a lot of it is from Neon. Because you guys still haven't seen Immaculate yet. Watch that on
No,
Hulu.
my brother Mike liked it. He said it was good.
It's very different. It's not really what you expect. And that seems to be the theme with all of their films this year. Long Legs, Cuckoo, Immaculate. It's really nothing like you expect. For me, that's exciting. Some people, it might be a turnoff. I think Neon is on fire this year, dude. I mean, so far, they're fucking killing it, And they might have more coming out. Who knows? I mean, we got another trailer that we're talking about tonight that they're putting out. I think it's a James Wan produced film, which,
but it's Osgood Perkins' movie.
Yeah, I know. It's just the name of James Wan on anything Neon related kind of scares me. Good for them. I mean, that shows that they're getting out there, I guess. But not particularly excited for that. But I haven't seen the trailer yet, so we'll watch it.
Okay.
We'll get into it later.
Now, Bisho, before I get your opinion, I just want to give Robbie his flowers here. Robbie did see Cuckoo this weekend. He said it's artsy. I really enjoyed some spots, and it generally held my attention. Yes, 100%. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's good. I don't know that it's going to be in my top 5 because there's a loaded field coming out of the gate here, and it's going to get very, very sticky. But Bisho, what is do you feel that this is intentional, that we're getting misdirected trailers to make us think one thing, get us in the door, and then we're getting this other thing delivered, and we have to decide if we're okay with it or not?
I think there's some of that, but like with Long Legs was great because they let you make your own opinions about what it was going to be. They weren't saying like Late Night with the Devil, this is the scariest movie ever, or this is this, right?
Definitively, yes,
they did exactly. Yeah. So, I guess people were saying this is the scariest movie ever. Long Legs.
Yeah, critics, Bisho will leading us down that path too.
Yeah, but that's also not the fault of the trailer or the filmmakers. I would much rather see a good movie that surprises me and is kind of a left turn kind of thing and not what I expected, as opposed to a movie like we all hated Halloween Ends because it was like, this is the definitive Laurie versus Michael movie, and then Michael gets beat up by a fucking teenager, and it's like, that's the movie you guys went with? Like, to me, a bait and switch or false advertising is different than, wow, I really thought that was going to be a sci-fi movie, but it turned out to be a psychological thriller. That okay, like to me, a good surprise is fine. I'm fine with that, and I'll take the ride as opposed to like false advertising.
Yeah, I think it's all in the execution at the end of the day. I don't think any of us would mind, right, Shah? Like if we were led down a direction and then the payoff wasn't what we thought, but we were equally as impressed. And I can tell you that's what I felt about Cuckoo without telling you like what the movie's about. But Shah, let me ask you a quick question. When you heard about, did anybody kind of ruin this movie for you? I was going to speak show this too before we moved on. Did anybody ruin the plot for you?
No, not at all. Everybody.
Excellent.
Everybody on YouTube is pretty good at putting, spoiler or no spoiler review. On the Facebook groups, I've avoided the comment section, nothing has been spoiled yet. But I don't know if I'm going to catch this at the theater though, because it seems like it's got a limited run. I don't know how many weeks it's going to be in the theater, but dude, I mean, $3.5 million on a $7 million budget, opening in 1,500 theaters, and it might only be around for 2 weeks. That's, hopefully it does some good sales as far as physical media, but it's not going to make up those millions, for sure. So
no, it's definitely going to operate at a loss. Bisho, did anybody ruin the plot for you? Because it's a very interesting plot. It's like I said, without giving any too much, it's not what you think it is at all.
No, not really. I mean, all I've heard from it is that it's not what you expect, and that it's a surprise. I have not really gone to like the killer flicks Facebook group that I used to belong to or go to a lot. I've kind of stayed away from. There's just so much coming out, and it's so fast that I don't want anything to be spoiled. So I've stayed away from it, and no one on Twitter or anyone's given any plot details.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
Good. Good. Well, I recommend it. I think I'm very curious to see what you guys would think of it. I'm very curious to see where it lands at the end of the year for us. It did not disappoint, but it did not. I guess in a lot of ways, it just did. Maybe it was a little bit of a misdirection, but now I think about it and I go, well, how else could they have done this? But before we move on to some big movie news, I do want to also mention that I went and saw Monday. I went back to Deadpool and Wolverine, and at a 6 o'clock Monday standard showing, and it was packed. It was packed. It has crossed the billion threshold. It is now in the billionaires club. And I will say this, Shah, there's no chance on earth if you watch this movie, you would not think it's great. It is a very rewatchable, strong R comedy that literally does not take itself too seriously and delivers like a hard R, bloody comedy. Like honestly, it might be one of the funniest movies I've seen in a theater in a long time. And there's so much in it that you don't remember. Like when you see it the second time, you still feel like you could watch it again. And like that's the staying power and quotability of a film. There are so many good filthy jokes in there, Shah. I'm telling you. I think, and look, Joe Puncher said you catch so many more jokes. There are so many hard R jokes that you just don't hear in a movie theater anymore, Shah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard literally not a single bad review about it, right? Everybody's creaming their pants about it. So, it's something that I'm definitely going to eventually check out. As far as it being the funniest movie you've seen in theaters in a couple of years, I believe it because we don't have comedies anymore.
No,
so
we don't have
the competition is pretty much non-existent.
Not allowed.
But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. This is actually probably one I'm going to buy on physical media. I don't have too many Marvel movies. I actually bought the first few that came out and never bought them again because it wasn't my thing. But this is one that I would actually buy. I do own the first Deadpool. I don't have the second one, but I'd be happy to add this one to the collection. It'll probably get a crazy steelbook for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I could only imagine what's in that steelbook. I mean, especially for such
probably
a
a pop-up book. Strap on.
Probably a pop-up. Yeah, probably a pop-up. B-Show, I know you're chopping at the bit to see this. And there's like I could just see your brain on fire, like walking out of the movie. Like there's so much to process in this 2 hours. And it really is like a love letter for paying attention, but also for hanging in there. And also for the shit that didn't work. Like he takes such a shit on Marvel Phase 4 in this openly mocks it. And you just don't see this ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to find any excuse I can the past 2 weeks to get to the movies, and I've not been able to fucking get it done. Every time I think about it, like everyone's chill, kids are doing their thing, and I'm like, hey, I can sneak out, and then hey, Dad, let's do this, and I'm like, all right, there'll be a time when they're not around, and I'll have. I want people around, and I'll take advantage of it now. And like I said, I got to get a Fire Stick or something because there's no way I'm gonna see all these movies this year. There's like 50 movies I want to see.
No. Well, speaking of movies you want to see, guys, the moment is upon us. Tomorrow night, the long wait is over. The hype apparently is real. We are getting a motherfucker of an Aliens movie that is getting outstanding reviews from critics. Outstanding reviews from people who have seen early screenings. What am I talking about? Aliens Romulus. Fede Alvarez, I'm mispronouncing that, director of the Evil Dead remake of Don't Breathe. I think I'm forgetting another movie there that he did. He might have did the sequel, Don't Breathe. Aliens Romulus, B-Show, what are we looking at right now? Because it looks like it's going to be a hit.
110 critic reviews give it 83%.
Wow.
Which for a sci-fi quasi-horror thriller in space, it's pretty goddamn good. Yeah.
B-Show, what is your take on this? We've talked about the trailer. We like this director. We seem like we're on the team here. What are we expecting for this? Do we think this is going to deliver? Do we think this is going to kind of reset the stage after a beleaguered sort of franchise took a hit, every now and again?
It seems like one of those movies that's trying to go back to like the basics of what Alien was and trying to revisit that, not recapture the magic, but kind of like this is what Alien is. And I saw Sam from Red River talking about how every Alien film from the original 4 movie run all had a different feel. They were all good, but they were all different. And I think this one, after like what was it, Prometheus or not Prometheus? Was that one?
Covenant. Covenant was the
So
last
Covenant,
alien.
and then there was like the prequel one with the alien engineer driver.
Prometheus and then Covenant. I think that's
There
how
you
that
go.
went. Yeah.
So like with those, I think people were like, we want to watch fucking aliens. We don't want to see this. So getting back to this, based on the trailer, based on what I've heard from people online, it's really good. I haven't seen anyone say, "Oh, this movie sucks," or I haven't seen any bad reviews. Really, it's all been that it's fun, it's good, and based on the trailer, another movie that I want to go see and hope to make time to.
Shah, what is your anticipation level at this point? I know we've dissected the trailer. We're a fan of the director. The moment is finally here this weekend. It doesn't look like it has stiff competition because Deadpool has already made its money. Cuckoo is not nationally released. Maxine is already on streaming. Where's your anticipation for this?
Pretty high, to be honest with you. I heard one early review. There's a girl on YouTube. I forget her. Shit, I should have. Spooky Astronaut. She does like a horror show every week where she gets like free access to all these fucking movies before they come out. She's Australian. So I watched her review. She said nothing but great things. She said, there's practical effects. There's very, very minimum amount of, CGI used.
Yeah.
She did mention that the CGI was kind of iffy. So I guess that's the only negative thing that I've heard so far. But she really put over the ending. Like she was saying, the ending was not something she expected at all. And it flows right into the same, type of vibe that the first two were. Because apparently he got the same practical effects team that did the original Alien.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he reached out. Yeah, so I mean, dude, like that right there shows that he's like invested and he's a true fan of the franchise. So he's not gonna fuck it up. So the fact that he reached out to people from fucking, I don't know what like how old is fucking Alien? When did it come out? 70,
80?
Yeah, you're right. 80? It was like 79, wasn't it?
Maybe it's 79. Yeah,
70s. Yeah, I think it was the 70s.
80 could be.
Man, it's 40 plus years old. I mean, it's it's crazy that these people return after 40 years to do the practical effects. But
1979. Yeah.
Jesus, 1979. My
Dude, that's
Lord.
crazy. The fact that movie came out in 79. Holy shit.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, I came out in the 70s. Look at me. I look great. So Robbie has his tickets. Slave Cheeks has his tickets tomorrow. I'm going Saturday morning. I am very excited about this. Now, what you're seeing, guys, is a picture I took Monday with my kids. They already had the Xenomorph popcorn head out, Shah. And I got to tell you, it looks amazing up close. My kids were even interested in this, and they don't know shit about shit. Shah, what do you think of that popcorn holder?
Did you buy it?
No, it wasn't available yet to sell. They just had it out to promote.
See, I was under the impression that they're selling these early because I know the Beetlejuice ones; those are already up for sale. Like people are already grabbing those.
They might not have been because the theater was overly crowded and it was like a mess. I think they're like $30. I honestly don't know.
If you get the chance, man, buy as many of these.
I
don't even want it. I don't want it. Get as many as you can because they're gonna go on eBay for like $300. I guarantee you this.
Wow.
Those are gonna be on eBay for like $300, bro.
B-Show, they look fun and they don't look shitty compared to some of these popcorn holders that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I see him, I think I mentioned in the pre-show, when I went and saw Garfield, it's like, all right, I'm not buying a $25 Garfield popcorn bucket.
Unless your kid really wants it.
Yeah. Although I did get roped into buying a blanket because he was cold and forgot to bring a sweatshirt. So there's that.
Man.
But yeah, this is something I definitely would spring for. This would be a cool piece. Like I wouldn't want to put like the popcorn and butter and shit in. I would just want to take it home and put it like on my shelf or on my desk.
Yeah, I don't want exactly. But the thing is, I think they fill it in the popcorn. And I'm like, no, my friend. I'm keeping this pristine. I'm going to masturbate with this later. I'm going to fill it up, and then my semen's going to come out of the mini mouth.
I was going to say the old popcorn bucket hole in the bottom of the bucket trick doesn't seem like it worked too well with this. I don't think you get the desired effect.
Yeah, I'm going to see the movie Saturday. I really can't, I really shouldn't. I'm going. Unless circumstances completely get derailed, I might try to go to a midnight. I can't really go to a midnight Thursday. But yeah, if you guys see it, share it with us. If I see it, I'm sure I'll be talking about it next week. But there was a couple of trailers we wanted to get to, and then we have a couple of the small stories. I just want to bang out this one trailer really fast, guys, if we can, because it's not really a trailer. So we've talked up Longlegs, Osgood Perkins, the director, hot shit right now. A lot of people wanted to know what he was going to follow up Longlegs with. Well, he already had a movie in the can. It's a neon movie produced by James Wan based on a Stephen King book that's already done. And it's called The Monkey, and they have a very small teaser trailer that we could pretty much almost talk over because it's not much. But I did want to bring this up because the timing of this, I think, is fascinating, because here is this guy who is hot shit right now, and boom, they already had something in the can. So if we could pull up The Monkey based on the Stephen King short story or story. Comes out next year, though. Now, when I saw this, guys, I thought it was Monkey Shines. Remember Monkey Shines?
Well, I was going to ask you, is this a remake of that?
No.
All right.
So you got James Wan, a lot of bad movies in there, but Osgood Perkins, again, hot shit. And look, they, writer and director of Longlegs. No way they're
gonna milk that for all it's worth.
Oh yeah, this is all we get. So, but. Now here's the thing, guys. I did a little deep dive on the story for those unfamiliar with the story. The story is about twin brothers whose father dies, and they find that mechanical monkey thing that I remember as a kid I'd see all the time. And for reasons they are not disclosing, sets off a very bad chain of events. That's all I know. But Shah, this guy is hot shit. Clearly knows how to make a horror movie, knows how to make an uncomfortable horror movie. This is a Stephen King property. It's being produced by, a big name in the industry. Not the movies that necessarily we like, but a big name in the industry. What are we thinking here? Do we think this guy could follow up with a banger?
I want to say yes. Just because I'd be thrilled to just add another name to the list of countless new directors that we're all invested in as far as creativity. Off the top of my head, I could probably name like 10 people that are fucking killing it right now. So I really think we're like in the middle of one of the best eras of horror. I mean, starting from like, I want to say like 2018, from Hereditary until now, there's been a lot of good fucking movies, man. And Hereditary, that was the same year as like Climax. Like I feel like 2018 was like the boom of that was like the boom of fucking A24 and like art house horror coming back. Not even coming back, just really being invented essentially.
Well, yeah, or being in theaters making money, getting talked about. That's the thing. You want to be in the conversation. B-Show again, Osgood Perkins. I mean, you can't. I mean, if you were ever going to release a movie quickly after a movie like that, February is not a bad way to go. You know what I mean?
No, that's a pretty good turnaround. And hey, like I said, playing the trailer, they're going to milk Longlegs for all it's worth. And they should, and good for them. Whatever you think about the story, and most people are favorable to it, you can't deny that guy's style is just outstanding and fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So even if the story is weird, which it's Stephen King, so it'll probably be a little strange, it's at least going to be done well. And I agree with Shah. Like, this reminds me of like 1997, 1980-ish, like those periods where, we're like, horror gets hot. There's a bunch of indie films made. Studios start picking them up, and then it just explodes. And we're in the middle of that right now. So hopefully it lasts a long time, because horror movies are always bankable. They're always cheap. They usually perform pretty well. There's always a built-in audience for it. And I don't know. It's kind of cool. I didn't know if I'd see this again, because people were saying cinema is dying. But in some ways, other than your tentpole big blockbuster movies, horror movies have really been kind to cinema the past couple of years. Really made them a lot of money.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm going to say something a little controversial. I think we might be in the best era of horror for me personally.
No, it might be.
I love 70s horror, but it doesn't really hold up that well unless you appreciate it for the time period, 80s horror, there's a lot of cheese. They're not necessarily good films. There's a lot of cheesy ones.
Shah, they were kind of learning. Like they were all copying the same 3 or 4 movies. To you know what I'm saying? Everybody was
right, but that was like the glorified era of horror. Whenever you ask anybody, they're going to say 80s. But for me personally, like I think this era is going to hold up the best, because I mean, I just don't see it getting much better than some of these movies that we're getting, dude. Like it's
But it is. That's the thing, is it is getting
yeah,
better.
yeah.
It is, you know. Backwards Baron Corbin is chilling in there. Robbie says the Raft is in that same book of short stories in the Mist that the Monkey is in. You know, but Joe Punch is saying they're taking greater chances in the horror genre, especially A24 and Neon. Joe, absolutely. They're taking better chances because I think the audience is more sophisticated. You know, you have three guys here from three different parts of the country, all talking about the same thing, all coalescing around the same thing. And we're a minority within a minority of a much larger group. And we're in horror chats and horror Facebook groups and in social, you know what I'm saying, B-Show? Like, we're like a toenail on a very large ogre of people who dissect this and make videos about this 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a little cottage industry online because, it reminds me a couple of years ago, we don't talk wrestling much, when AEW popped up, there were so many podcasts that sprung up out of this in the support of it and like did pretty well because there was an audience there. There was an appetite for it. Even people who had existing podcasts navigated to covering it too. And in this case, things have gotten so popular and there's been so much buzz and energy within horror that I'm seeing people who were doing general movie channels who are talking about horror movies more just because it's so big. And to Shah's point, I'm sorry, Joe Punch's point, they're taking chances because the chances are making money. There's a lot of films that come out, and Shah and you are more familiar with some of the art house stuff. There's a lot of art house movies that come out and no one watches them and no one gives a shit. But when some of these movies break through, like your Hereditary, like these A24 films, like Neon films of the past couple of years, studios take note. Studios took note of Terrifier. And the only reason they didn't pick up Terrifier 3...
Perfect example.
Yeah, only reason they didn't pick up 3 is because Damien wouldn't make concessions on the gore and the tone of the movie. So...
Blumhouse presents Art the Clown.
He would be a real clown. He would have a real clown with a rubber nose and juggling if it was Blumhouse. Yeah, but to that point, it's
look at this era we're in, guys.
Yeah, like you take movies that take chances, studios pick up on that and they invest in them because they know they can make money.
Well, that's a good point. And Chris Matthews says, Shah, it's not controversial. The horror that's coming out now is much better. We get better acting. We get better cinematography. We get better soundtracks. We get better stories. We get better special effects. Better practical. The enhancements there. So really, that is true. Like he's like, it's not controversial.
But it is though. If you say to like your typical horror crowd, you're gonna get bashed, dude. Everyone's gonna say the '80s is the best. But realistically, like most of them had bad acting. Like right now, these horror films, dude, they have some of the fucking best acting out there. Like, what they're doing is fucking phenomenal.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean, just look at this list. I mean, look how many great fucking movies came out. Again, some of these are older, but like Antichrist, Under the Skin, Titan, Martyrs, Climax,
Mandy, The Witch.
Mandy's.
A Girl Walks Alone at Night. I like that movie too. Listen, speaking of horror, I want to get to this trailer because I did not know this movie was coming out. Anna Kendrick, not known for the horror world, guys, but she's a cutie. She's from the Pitch Perfect movies. She's got chops. She's making her director debut, a thriller that looks absolutely fantastic. Trailer just dropped the other day. I'm not 100% on the title, B-Show. What is this title? Oh, Woman of the Hour. And we're going to play it. It's a short trailer, but we will stop it halfway through.
All right, everybody, let's get started. Live from Hollywood, it's the dating day.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
When you get on that stage, I just need you to laugh and smile just over and over.
Oh.
Do that for me?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, camera, get ready for the snap zoom.
Hi, Cheryl. Bachelor number 2.
Hello, Cheryl.
And would you please say hello to Cheryl, Bachelor number 3.
We're gonna have a great time together, Cheryl.
I don't date much.
You just know this is going up.
I don't date at all, actually.
But you decided to go to the dating game.
My agent said it would get me seen.
All right, let's pause.
Did you feel seen?
Let's just pause it. Just want to bring this up, guys. This is a true story. I'm a lot older than almost everybody here. I don't know how much of this is fleshed out, but this goes back to the 70s, and there was a dating game contestant who went on the dating game in the hopes that he would be able to kill the woman, that if he gets picked, he would kill her. Did you guys ever hear about this story, Shah? Have you ever heard of this before?
No, I haven't. I'll tell you what though, man. This is kind of a genius approach, simply because everybody's on Tinder now and like all these dating apps. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this or not, but there's a new concept on YouTube. It's super popular. It's all over TikTok and shit. They have these dating games where it's called Pop the Balloon.
Yes,
So
I've
they
heard
bring in, yeah. So I mean, with those being super viral right now, this is a good concept. Not saying this is going to be a huge movie or anything, but it reminds me of what was that fucking devil movie that I hated? I keep forgetting the name. That's how much I hated it.
Oh my God.
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah. The setting reminds me of that a lot, obviously because of the game show,
Yeah,
you know,
game show.
late night talk show, whatever. I just think this is going to be actually a good movie, whereas that one shit the bed the second half.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a slept on movie right here.
Bisho, were you familiar with this story? Have you ever heard of it before? I have, but I don't know that much about it.
Yeah, I don't remember all the details, but I'm kind of a closet true crime guy. I'm always on Reddit reading story. It might make me a psycho. But
Are you
sometimes
preparing? Is this you're doing research?
I'm trying to see what mistakes not to commit. No, sometimes I read about stories before I go to bed if I can't sleep. I don't know why. So,
Bisho, you're not making this any better.
it's okay. But no, I am familiar with the story somewhat. It is based on a true story. I like Anna Kendrick. She's very talented.
She's a cute kid. She's a great
singer.
She's a good kid. Yeah, she's adorable.
She's been in mostly Disney stuff, so this is kind of a
Well, she had a big
interesting turn.
she had a big baby face turn in Up in the Air. I think she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress with Clooney. That's a fantastic movie if you never saw a Jason Reitman movie. Let's finish this trailer. So we see it's going up the deep edge here.
You know, most people don't like to be seen because you have to be comfortable with yourself.
By the way, this dude looks creepy as fuck.
I never hide who I am.
He looks familiar as shit too.
He does.
Did you get the shot?
This looks like a dark art house
No matter
film.
what words they use, the question beneath the question remains the same.
Scrubbing the blood off his fingernails. Oh man.
All right. What's the question?
Which one of you will hurt me?
Jeez. God damn. And she's the star and she directs it. Shah, this is an impactful trailer.
Yeah, it's going to be an indie movie too. So I'm not expecting, you know, a big release or anything like that. I'm excited for it though, man. This is definitely one I'm going to just blind buy just off the bat. I'm not even going to bother renting it or anything like that. I'm just going to buy it. But yeah, I'm excited for this one, dude. This looks great.
Bisho, what was your opinion on the trailer?
I mean, I think it looks good. I like the hook of the true crime. I like based on a true story when it's actually based on a true story. And it's not like, I love Texas Chainsaw, but it's like, this was based on a true story. Well, kind of. Eddie King. But no, it looks
Kind of.
interesting. And, you know, some of the shots we saw, there's a certain style about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Looks like it's hitting the 70s vibe. It looks very dark.
yeah, but like even the positioning of the camera, like the flyover shots or the girl saying, "Is it ready yet?" and she's looking straight up in the air at the camera. It's a little bit more nuanced, I guess, than I would have expected from Anna Kendrick, who's done a lot of Disney movies.
No one
so no,
expected this
I'm on board, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I like her. I'm very curious about the story. I'm going to stay away from the story just to let the movie breathe. And I'm sure it'll get a decent release, but I don't, like Shah says, it's probably hard indie there. We got an interesting trailer that came out yesterday here. Who else is in this? I don't think this. What's that guy's name? We want to just look up the creepy. Not him. Tony
Daniel
Hale.
By the way, that serial killer in that last trailer, he looks like he would
pull
belong
him up.
like
Yeah.
front row at a GCW show.
Yeah, his head.
100%
is
has
huge.
that look.
His head looks like it gets satellite.
Looks like he has a mean Criterion collection.
From
Wow.
Don't Breathe. It Follows. Penny Dreadful. Okay, I liked Penny Dreadful first season. Pope's Exorcist. This guy's in a whole bunch of good movies here. Look at that. Oh my God, Shah. I think he's the dude in It Follows that kicks it off with the venereal disease. I'm almost positive he is. No, Shah, you know what I'm talking about, right? He's the catalyst.
Yeah.
He
I
gives it
watched
to
the movie
girl.
last year. I don't remember the characters though necessarily.
Yeah, he gives it to the girl. Oh my
By the way,
gosh.
that movie was overrated to me, man. That was it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. It's just
Very
not really
original.
what I expected.
I would like B-Show's vibe on that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because that's what he looks like. Yeah, B-Show. Interesting. The guy's got an interesting pedigree here. But he looks like he's going to be scary as fuck in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he isn't one of those. I hate to say Blumhouse again and knock it, but he's not like cast, what'd you say, from a Benetton ad? Is that how you call it? Not some pretty
Yeah.
boy who's pretending to be a psycho.
No, he's not
He
a pretty
actually
boy. No,
he
he's
looks like a psycho.
he looks like his mother drank when he was in the womb. Listen, we got to move. We got a couple of things we want to get to. A big budget trailer. Marvel being white hot right now. You know, any ancillary Marvel thing might make a big impact. Well, Kraven the Hunter, which has been reshot and pushed back and reshot and pushed back, and still not sure why they're making this movie, put together a pretty decent little trailer here. Just came out, I think, yesterday. And we're just going to break this down a little bit. Obviously, Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain that they've been wanting to do something with for reasons no one has ever explained. Yes, Rich, I do know my STDs. I know my ABCs. Let's take a look at Kraven the Hunter. We're going to stop this halfway through. So, guys, this movie has been shot and reshot again.
The greatest the world has ever known.
I think this is an R-rated movie. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think this is an R-rated movie, guys. What do you think? Okay.
Who's next?
I heard
Columbia Pictures has this?
Yeah, because they
You
still
like
own the
your
rights
father,
to some of the
a
Spider-Man
gangster? A killer?
and I heard a voice.
Oh, we're using Johnny Cash. Okay. Hasn't been done
Behold.
much. Oof. Did he just put a bear trap on somebody's head?
Hell
did.
Oh,
followed with him.
all right, let's stop this for a second.
Going round.
Christmas
right off the
movie.
back shot. This is not what I thought it would be. This looks like a hard R action-y kind of movie, and it looks like they don't. It looks like they're going hard here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a superhero version of Rambo. It's what it kind of reminds me of. Was that Russell Crowe in there?
He might play
Cameo?
the dad. I don't know. He might play
Yeah,
the
I think
father.
it was
That'd be
Russell Crowe.
interesting. I think you're right. It was. That is Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was the original. Well, now he might be the next James Bond, but he was Kick-Ass. He's also been in a lot of other things. He's in a bunch of shit. B-Show, this is not what I thought it would be.
Not at all. I thought it was going to be like an adaptation of a superhero movie, almost like Spider-Man.
Doesn't even,
just-
yeah.
And I don't know much about Kraven other than he was on the animated series, which I was a big fan of. So this is, I hate to say it's not quite Joker character study, but it's taking it away from being a comic book movie in a way and telling a story of this guy, it looks like so far.
Okay, well, let's see if we can finish up this trailer. But again, it looks good. Doesn't look like a schlocky horror movie. I mean, a comic book.
Taking names.
My son.
And he decides who to free.
Is that
and
Russell
who
Crowe?
to blame.
Yes, an animal.
There he is.
That you
I don't know that that's Russell Crowe. We'll find out.
On your arm will stand up.
Tell me about this hunter.
Some are born and some are died.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
When the man comes around.
I do love that song. I wish it
When the
wasn't
man
used
comes
as
around.
often. It is Russell Crowe, Joe. Little John Wicky.
Whoever is unjust
You think you're some kind of honor? Some kind of code?
will be unjust.
It's Mike Wolves.
You're just another man
Whoever is righteous,
hunting for a trophy.
Dart to the neck.
let him be righteous still.
Just like our father.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Embrace who you really are, son.
Ooh. Oh, the Rhino.
Rhino.
Wow.
And you will become a legend.
When the man comes around.
Okay. I hate that they use
When
it.
the man comes around.
B-Show, it is an R-rated movie, clearly, and the Rhino is in it. That's interesting.
That's pretty cool, although Marquise kind of hit it on the head for me. As soon as I heard The Man Comes Around, I'm like, all right, it's cool, but we just heard this in Logan, which was like a huge, huge movie.
Yeah.
And then they're chasing him through the woods. I know it's Kraven, but like Marquise is right. This reminds me a little bit of it's giving me Logan vibes.
A little bit.
So it looks good, but a movie that's been reshot like 2 or 3 times, I've got
Yes.
questions about.
They've changed it, yeah, a bunch. Shah, like I said, not your typical comic fare, and another R-rated comic book movie, which is going to be, I think, a staple.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously, if you've been listening to the show, you know I'm not a big comic book person, so not necessarily my thing, but I have to admit it does look good if you're into action films or just comic book movies in general. I'd probably rather watch this than like an Avengers movie. I feel like this is more of my vibe than something that's way too out there with the galaxy and all these fucking neon colors and CGI throw up everywhere. So again, this has a ton of CGI too, but it looks more realistic, I guess. The rhino part is the coolest one to me. Like that's that's more so what I would want out of a film like this. Because aside from that part, it just looked like an action movie. Like I'm not familiar with the character, so I don't really know, but it does look like John Wick a little bit, mixed with like Rambo in the forest and shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah, Joe Punch is saying we're getting Rhino and Chameleon. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I look, it was reshot a bunch. They pushed it back and pushed it back and pushed it back. Drew Yari, he's adorable. He said, I hate the word cinema, honestly, but Logan felt more like cinema. Kraven looks like it could be good. Yeah, I mean, Logan is just like lightning in a bottle. It set a mood. And by the way, it is a catalyst. It is the literal catalyst, B-show, for the success of Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, absolutely. Because the Wolverine series was big, but like when Logan came out, like we talked about, people were crying in the theaters. It was a huge deal.
Yeah, for sure. But again, I going off the trailer. It comes out December 13th. Weird because you got Wicked, you got fucking Nosferatu. Shah, I mean that looks like that's going to be a tough sell to get box office December 13th.
Yeah, you know what? This is kind of off topic, but I wanted to mention this earlier since we're talking about dates and the cinema and stuff like that. Why would Neon put out Cuckoo now and not like in October? Because I feel like they just like Long Legs is from Neon and they're essentially their own competition, which could be good. But I just feel like it's a little oversaturated with their films. They should have just kind of.
That's an interesting point, but we're also not 100% what's coming out in October.
Yeah, that's
Smile
fair.
2 is coming out in October. Isn't Terrifier 3 coming out in October?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to compete with Smile 2 and Terrifier 3?
Put it in November, Thanksgiving time,
That's that big Christmas movie with The Rock is coming. Like I'm telling you, like it's a full plate.
Yeah, but dude, if you're going to Cuckoo, you don't give a fuck about the Rock Christmas movie. Like, you know what I mean? There's a specific audience for Cuckoo.
Very true. Very true. Well, apparently it wasn't as big as they thought it would be because it didn't make a lot of money. We got an interesting trailer here from Vinegar Syndrome that's making the rounds. I think this is the last trailer we got, and then we got a couple of short stories we want to get to before Patreon.
Yeah.
Vinegar Syndrome Shah. We've talked about it quite a bit here. Distributor. They used to be exclusively porno, if I'm not mistaken. They used to be mostly vintage porno.
So they started out. Yeah.
Well, this is one of their first features into new films.
Yeah. So they've produced a bunch of different other films. I think it was called like Hurt Myself or something like that. That was their last one. This is the first one that's actually their film. So, wow, and I've heard great things about it. It's supposed to be like a 70s grindhousey type of film. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited for it.
Right up our alley. It's called Eight Eyes. It is coming to theaters from Vinegar Syndrome, and we're going to play the trailer.
Well, not theaters. It's out.
It says theatrical trailer. You're right. It's a theater. It's a trailer they're playing in front of films, but it is coming direct streaming. Okay.
It's already out on physical, so you can buy it on
physical.
Yeah, you can. They just put it out. You can buy it at vinegarsyndrome.com.
Let's get physical media. Let's take it. We call the episode that. I love that logo. Just know you're seeing some fucked up shit.
Already grindhousey. It's very grindhousey already. Look.
Yeah. Whoa.
I fucking love it already.
Yo.
It's just dirty and grimy. I already love
this
it.
looks amazing.
Oh my god.
It legit looks like a re-release of a movie from 40 years ago. Like, it looks like it's shot 40 years ago.
For the flag, so...
Got it. Snubbed?
Joking, my friend. Come on, relax.
Is it snubbed? Oh, what the fuck is that?
This place here, I also know very well.
Are you local?
My father used to work here before the war.
When the country split apart, right?
Yes. You want to see real Serbia?
Oh, it's in Serbia!
I don't know if anyone wants to see the real Serbia.
No! Oh no! Serbia! Oh no! We should call the episode. Oh, stop this right now. Hey! Okay, stop this. Shah, did you see this trailer beforehand?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No, I am completely foreign to this film. I just know of it because I follow Vinegar Syndrome.
What?
But right off the bat, this feels grimy and dirty. Like this is exactly what I liked from the exploitation era. You know what I mean? And dude, they love exploitation movies.
Yes,
like that's what they put out. So clearly, I mean, obviously they're going to invest in a film like this.
B-Show, I am so on board.
This was not at all what I expected. I didn't even know what I expected, but it's like
Wasn't this?
I couldn't get over the fact that it legitimately looked like they just re-released. No, I'm not saying it looks like a copy, but like the style and the grit looks like they re-released an old movie that was shown at colleges, taken from college to college in the trunk of some guy's car. You know what I mean? That's
Clearly
really
shot to
interesting.
film, right? Shah clearly shot to film here. This is shot to film. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, if they didn't shoot on film, I would probably stop purchasing from them because, you know, they preserve film. That's literally what they fucking do.
All right, we got to see how deep this goes, Shah.
Look at the grain though, dude. That's
what I'm saying. It's like it's like 8mm. All right, let's go. I know we're getting bad shit here. Let's go. Let's get it.
Why you say in America? Oh, sweet home.
This music
is a psychopath, and I am.
It sounds like Goblin.
Go back home. You show pictures to your friends. You look at picture. You don't see. Let me paint you a picture.
Oh my god! I'm in love.
Music.
I'm in love. Oh. Wow. God. Totally on board. Oh, God.
Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yo.
Okay.
What the fuck, man?
Okay. Let's just cut to the chase here.
Let's all take a shower and then review the movie.
I'm sweating. Like, I want to watch this more than anything on the earth right now, B-Show. Like, this has so many elements of fuck you in it. This is the new. It's another Serbian film. I mean, B-Show.
We talked earlier about people getting to take chances because horror has been so successful. I don't think this movie would have come out and gotten the release it's getting maybe 6-7 years ago. And I'm glad that it does because I'm not the biggest, I guess, connoisseur of exploitation films, but I appreciate the style and the artistic and just going for it. This looks like not a greatest hits, but like it looks like an amalgamation of all the stuff people say they love about those types of movies, just kind of crammed into one, and it looks great.
Yeah, I'm blown away. Shah, talk to me. Do you own this yet? Like, what is the story? When are we watching this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't own it yet, but I'm gonna buy this ASAP because this shit looks fucking phenomenal. I mean, dude, look at this. Like, this is exactly what I wanted from, you know, horror movies. Oh, this wasn't in the trailer. Let's look at this. What is this?
What is this? Oh, God.
That looks kind of shitty.
Oh, well, yeah, we can't really appreciate it.
But yeah, dude, I'm excited for this. I definitely want to purchase this ASAP. So I'm probably gonna watch this in the next month or so.
Oh, please.
They're pretty slow with shipping.
Yeah, Chris Matthews says it looks old school.
This is probably going to be on Shudder. They have a good relationship with Shudder because
fuck you,
they're putting
really?
a Shudder film.
Whoa,
yeah,
fuck you! I can't wait to watch this.
Eventually, it'll be.
Yeah, Rich Dow goes. This looks like a Rob Zombie film if he gave a shit.
Yeah, I was thinking watching the trailer. This is what a Rob Zombie film would look like if it was done really well. Yeah, and he's a little bit more polite than me. So
the good Rob. Yeah, we have to have this in our name of the episode. It's just so. Oh my God! Slave Cheek said if John and Brian saw this movie with their wives would file for divorce. Yeah, yes. My wife walked out of The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy because it was too violent. But she did like Joker. But she said I could never watch that again. And I was, well, I guess I kind of understand. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this with no pants and just have a party. I'm excited.
John,
What?
Do you know the movie Sinful Dwarf? Do you know what that is?
That was my nickname in college, but who told you about that?
This reminds me of that movie if you didn't have a midget in it and it was, filmed in Serbia. This is exactly what that would be.
The Serbia element. Listen, another Serbian film. We should call this. I've heard of the Sinful.
Dude, you got to see this. This is a great fucking film. This is one of the classic exploitation films.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah, I've seen this guy. This guy's a
Sinful Dwarf.
Sinful Dwarf.
Yeah, this guy he kidnaps women and his mom helps him keep him in the basement, and he tortures women in the basement.
So he's like a wrestling podcaster.
Yes.
He's involved in wrestling. Yeah, he has a wrestling channel. Guys, there's no chance we're not, if we see that movie this year, there's no chance we're not talking about it again. There's zero chance. Zero chance. Guys, we're bringing you banger after banger. Hey, we have a couple news stories we want to get to that just kind of broke this week. They're fairly topical, and we thought we might check them out. One of them is interesting because it involves a celebrity that, look, I'm no Logan Paul fan. I don't know much about the Paul brothers. I think they're both repugnant people who got famous being just douchebags. It's a douchebag, influence is a douchebag, sort of genre. But the story about how the Olympics is now suing Logan Paul for his poisonous energy drink, guys, is so funny. Do we have the Steve-O clip of him talking about this? Because he kind of summarizes this, I think, in like 60 seconds. But do we have it, Chad, the Steve-O clip, or no? About the Logan Paul getting sued by the Olympics? I just think it's funny.
I think I sent it over. Did I?
Well, I could break it down. I remember it. So Logan Paul has his Prime energy drink, and he sponsors Kevin Durant, the famous basketball player who's a starter on the Olympic basketball team. So he's going to start at the Olympics, and Prime is sponsoring Kevin Durant. So they feel like, oh, let's make an energy drink version of this. Steve-O tells this in like 30 seconds. Let's just play the Steve-O clip. If you want
I'm trying to find a 30-second. This one's like 9 minutes.
Bicho, I'm going to send it to you in the private chat. I have.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a TikTok, so it's like 60 seconds. Like he breaks it down.
Here we go.
Okay, do we have it? It's
loading.
just an easier way to explain this to people who might not have heard about it before. So yeah, let's see if we can just play it real quick.
Yeah, for some reason my system was having a hard time separating the tab.
It's because you're on an FBI watch list because of 8 eyes now. That's probably.
No, Shah, this is well,
I can explain it. So Kevin Durant goes to the Olympics, and Prime decides to make a. Be sure your screen's frozen, by the way. Prime decides to make an energy drink with the Olympic, circles on it. Like Prime Olympics. The only problem is the Olympic rings. That's copyrighted material. So now the Olympics is suing Logan Paul for copyright infringement for spending millions of dollars on these Olympic cans of his drink. I mean, Shah, it's hilarious.
I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the more shocking stories I've heard all year. It kind of sounds pathetic saying that, but for a big, ginormous company like Prime to make a stupid mistake, like come on, man. This is like fucking marketing 101. You should know if you I can't put an Olympic logo on anything. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You got to be smarter than that. And it's fucking Prime. You're not going to get away with that, dude. You're a ginormous fucking company, It's a huge conglomerate.
Yeah. B-Show, it does seem like anyone with a third grade education in business should have said hey, we might get a cease and dismiss because aren't the rings from the Olympics copyrighted?
Guys, I'm thinking we should put golden arches on our show. I think that'd go really well. Yeah, I mean, look, Logan Paul, maybe he's savvy at marketing or can penetrate fucking people's attention like other people can't, and has a big platform. But he's not letting himself to be seen as very intelligent. I mean, I know he went to college and he's a smart guy, but like he seems like a frat guy bro. So to me, this is like frat guy bro move. It's like, hey, man, we'll just put the rings on the bottles.
Dude, B-Show, check this out. Olympic rings, Prime. Right?
Dude, we should play a Fish song in the commercial. That'd be fucking killer. Or maybe Dave Matthews.
Shot, but like honestly, how no one in their right mind said, hey, we're probably not allowed to do this.
Yeah, I think the number one fuck up of the year is the Secret Service with Trump. And I think this is the number
this is
two.
number two.
This is the number 2 fuck up of the year. Like, I just don't understand how those two things could possibly even happen. You know what I mean? Like, I just, it boggles my mind, dude. I have when I saw this that they actually put it on their fucking drinks and thought they could get away with it without getting permission from the Olympics. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? You can't just put an NFL logo on a Pepsi without paying NFL. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not gonna work.
Kurt Angle had to stop calling his move the Olympic Slam. They wouldn't let him use Olympic or wear his real medals.
And he was actually in the Olympics, and
he's an Olympic gold medalist
with a broken neck. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just, honestly, it's just so douchey. It's just so douchey. I can't. I love it. I think it's so goddamn funny. And I don't like the Paul brothers. I think they're gross. I think they're despicable people. Homeboy's a good wrestler. Not going to front. I'm not going to be a dick and say the guy is not a natural. He's excellent for a guy who hasn't learned how to do it. His brother's a fake, but his brother's a fake boxer. But they're reprehensible people. B-show. I can't stand these guys, and I hope they lose most of their fortune.
It's not been a good week for them. Did you guys? It was a quick clip on Logan Paul's podcast. Dominic Mysterio asked him if he's ever been to Japan, and he's just like, no. He's like, really? Woo! You can't go there, or have you been there? And he goes,
oh, they won't let you back in. He goes, they won't let you back in.
He said, are you shadow banned? And he wouldn't answer the question. Yeah.
Dirty Dom, killing it. Yeah, I just thought this was so goddamn funny. Chris Matthews goes, Logan Paul, good wrestler, shitty person. Chris, that list is legion. My God. But Shah, I mean, they'll probably settle, but they're going to get their balls bitten off here.
I mean, dude, it's the Olympics. What are they going to settle for? You know what I mean? Like, millions and millions and millions, dude. I mean, he's kind of fucked for this, man. This was dumb. Whoever, and it's not one person that greenlit this idea. This had to go through several channels. Like this, a lot of people should get fired at Prime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They'll blame. He's like, some marketing person told me it was legal, dude. It was totally legal, bro.
The marketing, the graphic designer, fucking Logan Paul should fire himself for
business manager. I mean, like the marketing director, the graphic designer, the public relations people. I'm sure they have a staff, a big staff. It's a big company. It's not a small. I mean, Bisha, also, why are we giving them Southern California accents when they're from Ohio?
They are from Ohio. Yeah. Trust me, I've met a lot of people who are like burners who go to college in Ohio that sound like that. But
oh yeah, they do. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. This is like working a blackjack table at Caesars and you're skimming the top, and then they go to break your arm, and you're like, "What? I didn't know I couldn't do that." Like, sorry, your arm's broken. Just deal with it.
Yeah. Well, I have no sympathy, and I hope they get sued. Which they are. They're going to get sued quite a bit. Listen, we want to play this little clip because we've talked about the Hawk Tuah girl, quite a bit here. I think we did we did an episode, not a full episode. We would never do that, but we talked about her quite a bit. She seems the 15 minutes are winding down. But a couple of weeks ago, she was in LA, I guess, and did Bill Maher's podcast. And he has a podcast where it's his basement and he smokes weed and drinks. And he hung out with her while she drank White Claws. Now, Bill Maher's 60-something years old, maybe late 60s.
68.
Wow, he looks great for 68. Not for nothing, he really does. But I'm a big Bill Maher guy. I've seen him live. I've seen him debate. I went to a Bill Maher debate at Radio City against Ann Coulter, and I sat like in the third row. I've read his books. I'm a fan. I think he's a bright guy. I don't go on with everything he says, but the things I agree with, I feel pretty strongly about. I just want to play. I don't have a strong feeling about this, but apparently Steve-O, who already has a beef with Bill Maher about his podcast and not wanting to go on if he was going to smoke weed, which we did cover. I just play a little bit of it, just like a little snippet of it. This is him talking to the 21-year-old Hawk Tuah girl, whatever her name is, Hawk Tuah.
Suddenly famous, nothing to be ashamed of. But now we have to move past that.
I agree.
Haley.
Her name's Haley.
What's your last name?
Welch.
I knew that. I was testing you.
She's a cute kid.
It's okay. I had to sound out your last name early.
I don't expect you to know me. Most of the country does, bitch. But no, I'm kidding. But you're young. You'll get there. That doesn't matter. What matters now is move past, let's call it your origin story. And it's very much like the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
You know origin story from comic books, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what's the Kardashians' origin story?
They started out before all the plastic surgery and everything else, didn't they?
No, what's their origin story? What put them on the map?
This is so weird.
I'm not up to trends. I had to figure out who you were today.
This girl really is like
I'm
whiskey.
so serious. I don't
doesn't
keep
know
up
shit.
with
Oh,
anything.
you're 21. You're not supposed to.
I love that he's drinking
I'd be
and smoking like
disappointed
it's
if you
the
did.
Tonight Show in the 60s. I do love that.
But someday
love
you
it.
will.
Look at him,
Someday
dude.
you'll
He's
be
like,
calling me and say,
this is
Bill,
like, no one does this.
I'm really getting
That's weed,
caught
by
up
the
on the
way. That's
Middle
not
East.
cigarette.
Can you tell me? And I'll tell you. But but right now,
She's
no,
drinking a
it
White
was a
Claw,
sex
whatever it is.
tape. You don't know?
Oh, what
That's
is that
Kim's,
called?
wasn't it?
Show?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
mom water?
So you do know this.
No, I
Okay,
don't know
I
what
do
that's
know.
called.
Okay.
I didn't know that's what like started it all for him, though.
Absolutely. And they're very nice people.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Trisha
sure.
sat right in that
High
seat.
noon, high
She's
noon.
I know.
What?
She's been right here?
Many people have. Even people you know. But yes,
It's really awkward.
they're wonderful people. They're just very nice.
So he's trying to get her
the
to
only
do a
thing you get them
podcast
on
where she
is
talks
the,
about
is the
sex.
Kardashian story. It's as if Spider-Man
All right,
became
this is taking too
Spider-Man
long. I'm
because
sorry.
he
It's
blew a
just-
spider.
So listen, he eventually says to her, I think you should do a sex podcast. Now, here's why I don't have a problem with this. She's literally famous for talking about spitting on a dick before you suck it. That is literally why she's famous, Bisho. She's not famous for where's the beef. She's not famous for did I do that, like Urkel. She's famous for you want to hawk too and spit on that thing. Why wouldn't she do a sex podcast? Like, I'm just saying, like, forget about how old he is and asking her. He clearly wanted her. He got her on his house to go on his show. He didn't have to do it. I don't think it's that weird. And it's not because I'm a Bill Maher fan. It's because we're forgetting because she's she seems like she hasn't seen a lot of cock. I know I guarantee you this is the girl who does not know her way around a penis that well. You could just tell. But Bisho, isn't this why we know who she is?
It is. It was weird because I saw another part of a clip where he's like trying to say, but not trying to say, you said that because you learned to spit on it. So like you're experienced, and just him being a 68-year-old dude in his basement, like pouring the drink, like and I know it's different because it is televised, but if this wasn't televised, this would be like a whole other.
Well, yeah, it's televised. That's the point. Yeah.
But it's just a weird look for Bill Maher, political commentator, comedian, to be trying to tell a 21-year-old girl, hey, you should do a sex podcast for my network.
Yeah.
And
no, I can understand that, but I don't think her doing a sex podcast for being the girl who spits on your dick before she sucks it, which is literally what the fuck she's talking about. Let's stop. This is what she's talking about. I mean, maybe I'm just because I'm just desensitized to it. Shah, do you understand what I'm saying? Like she looks like a little kid there. She's dressed like she's not dressed like she's dressed like a kid on a TV show, but she's literally, we know her for being drunk in public, talking about sucking dicks. Right?
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, I found this shit very creepy, to be honest with you. I feel grosser by this than that fucking Grindhouse trailer we just watched. You know what I mean? And again,
Really?
and it's because he is 68. If somebody that was 30 or 25 was having this conversation with her, it wouldn't come off creepy. You know, it wouldn't come off creepy. He's old enough to be her grandfather, and I don't know, man. He seems like a very condescending person that kind of
he's a snide guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a snarky fucking dude. If he were ever to compliment you, it's going to be a backhanded compliment. Like, he just seems like that type of person that's very subliminal and kind of throws shade at you. And I think he's kind of a hornball, it seems like. You know, to me, it sounded like he wanted to.
It seemed like he was into her personally. I didn't get that.
Well, he's not going to come out and say that because she's 21. But him even wanting to have a conversation about her sucking dick, like, I get it. That's what she got famous for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I've seen her do several interviews. They're not talking about sucking dick with her. You know what I mean?
Well, she was on like the Whitney Cummings thing, and they were talking about sucking dick quite a bit.
I didn't see that one.
Well,
she's
but my point to that too
in
is
her, like, almost 50s.
If Whitney Cummings, another woman, a woman in
Yeah.
entertainment, if she said, "Hey, I got opportunities that I can line up for you. You should do a podcast about like girl talky shit." This
Right.
was like, well, I'm like 68 and I think you're experienced, and you should do, as I pour another drink, podcast about
It reminded me of Hefner, like in the '60s, being like, this new concept is called a centerfold.
Yeah, and
like,
I think people look at it almost like he may be taking advantage of the situation. Maybe not sexually, but just she just seems very naive and very young, and he's an older guy.
she's a goober. I mean, like, and maybe like, but he's not. He's like a coastal elite, you know.
Well,
but Shah, let me make a question. So if Rogan did this, would you feel the same way?
I would think it's still creepy. Probably not as creepy. And I'll tell you why. I think it's a combination of things. I think it's his delivery, his pacing, the way he talks makes it creepy.
That's how he talks.
I almost feel like he belongs in like the Long Legs movie. You know what I mean? Like he seems like fucking some dude like that. You know what I mean? That's the kind of vibe.
Almost birthday girl?
Yeah, he's like talking slow and all monotone and shit.
No, that's just well, he's also high and drunk. I mean,
no, I understand that, which is normally acceptable. But when you're talking to a 21-year-old about sucking dick and you wanted to hear that, comes off a little creepier than usual, especially when you're 68 and fucking getting drunk in front of her. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him drinking in front of her. That's the concept of his fucking show.
Yeah.
But I think the combination of everything and the age difference makes it creepy because he's old enough to be. Dude, I don't want to fuck a 21-year-old.
Right.
I'm 37. I can't imagine being 68 and talking. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's as gross as me talking about an 18-year-old. Like, 18-year-old to me is a child still. Right. You know what I mean? It's weird. Yeah. It is weird.
Yeah. So, Bisho, did you get a Long Legs vibe? Were you thinking, let me in now, and it could be so nice?
Yeah, man. I not necessarily Long Legs, but it's weird. And I don't know if it's because, one, he's high. And two, he's probably drunk.
You could tell he's fucked up. I mean, look at him. He's not there, dude.
But I don't know if he was in his head because he's trying not to come out and say it like a creep. But the more, like, are you ever in a situation where you say something dumb, and the more you try to overcome it, the worse it gets? That's what this reminds me of. Maybe just his delivery because he was nervous or didn't know how to approach it.
No, I think he's drunk and high, and he's not used to talking to 21-year-olds.
Well, maybe Steve-O had a point then. I don't know.
Well, he drags it out too. You know what I mean?
He drags it out. Yeah.
You literally just cut it off because it was like a 3-minute fucking thing that he dragged out. It makes him more uncomfortable, Yeah,
because then he goes, "You should do a sex podcast," and but again, you could tell like she's not like I feel like you guys are a little too young for the Girls Gone Wild era. You probably saw the commercials.
No, we were around for that shit.
Okay, but like that era is so gone. Like, it just doesn't really, like, even the Jersey Shore era is gone, B-Show. It doesn't really kind of exist.
No, and I understand the point that she's known for what she's known for, but it's also a coastal elite dude in his late 60s assuming that a girl who said something funny on the internet is a fucking hound dog and saying she should do you know what I mean? Like, just the assumption that he makes.
Yeah, I could see both sides of it. I just didn't think it was as big a deal because... Like, I don't want to pearl clutch over the girl that's going to spit on the dick before she sucks it. I think that's weird. Like, we got to kind of like, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's just, isn't this why we know who she is? Like, we would.
Right. But again, it's also the flow of the conversation, like you can tell it started off rocky because she didn't know who he is. And you can clearly tell that offended him. That's why he turned around and said, well, plenty of people do, bitch. Like, he's joking around, but you could tell that hurt him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And people already trying to process that, like, oh, did he just get butthurt about her not knowing him? And then he immediately goes into her sucking dick. It's like, dude, this is a weird approach to this interview, man.
She's a cute kid. I think she's a real goober. I don't think she's some wild party girl. I think it was just a moment, B-Show. And like, I would be shocked if this girl was a coxman. Like, I really would. She doesn't seem like she carries herself like she's like banged everybody in her town. She's probably a very, dare I say, almost like socially conservative type person, so this is all blowing her away,
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is, go ahead, Shah.
No, I was just going to say, if she was the spit on it type of girl, like, you would catch her twerking with fucking Cardi B on stage and shit. She's out here like buying
Sexy
dog
Red.
food. Yeah, she's out here buying dog food.
I know.
For shelters. Like, I don't really get that slutty vibe.
Contradiction.
From her.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why, again, that's not maybe who she is, but she said that, which gave people that assumption, and they were obsessed with her, and she became one of the most downloaded people of the year. So to have her sit there and go, I don't really know, like, who's Jay-Z? I don't know who that is. I don't even, like, what's a 69? Is that like, what is that, an energy drink? You know what I'm saying, B-Show? Like, I just think it's like the curtains. We pulled the curtains back, and now like Oz is just some dude, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you act and say things a certain way, and this is not slut shaming, it's just
No.
a fact of life. If you put a certain vibe out there, it puts off a certain, I guess, perception of you.
Yeah.
But I mean, do I think Bill Maher wanted to lock her in a sex dungeon and sing "Happy Birthday" to her? No. Do I think it was really awkward and probably he's not the guy in public to give that advice? Probably, because I think it would have been more well received publicly if it, like I said, if it's her and Whitney Cummings, like, oh my God, you should do a podcast. You probably know all sorts of tricks.
Oh my God, isn't cum gross? Yeah. Like,
have you met my sex doll? Like,
yeah.
But
Also-
Bill Maher's
also-
just like, oh, you don't know me? Well, you should do it. It came off as like creepy grandpa.
Yeah. Also, you gotta like look at how she presents herself too. If she was really about that life, she probably would have put on some fucking makeup. She doesn't even have makeup
That's
on
what
in
I'm saying.
this
She
video.
looks like a little kid. It's weird.
She would have
but
got her
it's not.
titties done by now. She'd be
Yeah, she's-
twerking. Like she's not. You can tell she's just a
She
regular.
didn't get
like,
dressed
Southern
up for the
girl.
occasion. I mean, like, you know.
She probably rides horses on weekends and spends fucking time cleaning them. Like that's the type of vibe I'm getting.
Three
from her. I don't really
three
think she-
wheeling and beer and dealing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's
we have
been at like big events. She's been at
Yeah.
she was at WrestleMania. She's been at concerts, and she has not been putting herself out there with that
How
vibe
soon
at all.
until
She's been
she
very low
is,
key.
is in a relationship with Jelly Roll? I think by next week, Jelly Roll's going to start banging her.
Hey,
All right,
Jelly
listen,
Roll's supposed to
we
be
got
a
a bunch of stuff to get to. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. There was a lot of people chilling tonight, but let's plug our pals. Let's plug Hey Now Rich Dow. Let's plug Deathmatch Outlaws. Let's plug the Drew Yari Experience. The Cassette Classics 86 on the YouTubes, the Down on the Thundercast, the return of the Don Tony and the Kevin of the Castle. And of course, you have the Wrestling Soup. You have the Necromaniacs podcast. They just did a long legs, guys. They did a full deep long legs dive. All three of them went to town. You got to be checking that out. The Inhuman Experience podcast. And of course, we have Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. The Gardan of the Doom. We have the Old Guy Metal Cast, and of course, our friend Mr. Anderson's clothing company, funkbetty.com, and JW Games. And we also have Cherry Jesus on YouTube and his band Kaiser. The Red River Podcast, that's our good buddy Sam Hoyos and his band Playing Dead, always putting out the hits. The Bayou Geeks, that's Fate 316. The High Marks Podcast, Midnight Mass Creature Cast, The Weekly Detour with our good friend Anthony Olson and his good friend Teddy. The Guns and Geeks Podcast. Shah, anything on the old Planet Mondo?
To be honest with you, no, man. I there's a lot of changes happening, so I barely have any time to do anything. But you know, as soon as I get some time, I'll get back into it. If anything, honestly, dude, I'm probably gonna do live streams. It's very hard for me to edit videos. Like I just don't have the patience for it, and people don't realize how much a 5-minute video on YouTube takes. Like you're spending like 8 hours editing that shit. You know what I mean? So it's not easy.
Good
Lord. And honestly, dude, for the people that are saying like YouTube isn't a real job, for the people that are putting out fucking videos every day or every other day, that's their fucking job. They're putting 8 hours in. You know what I mean? Like
For sure, especially the self-help gurus that you're a fan of, Shah.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
everyone,
Well, I don't know about him.
everyone should subscribe to the Planet Mondo channel. B-Show Brian,
please do.
we know you're working on something special for the Patreon this month, but what's happening on the B-Show Brian channel?
I've been putting in some time, as Shah had mentioned, with a tourist trip, House of Wax movie, kind of retrospective tying them both together. So that should be up probably within the next 2 weeks or so, based on how long it's taken me to get there. So go subscribe, bshowbrian.com. And yeah, man, thanks for checking us out this week. Thanks for moving to Wednesday for us, everyone that checked out the show live. And
Yes,
love y'all.
Yes, I have a big day tomorrow. Big. So I had to move. I wasn't going to be able to do the show, and I certainly didn't not want to be here. But guys, we're going to head over to Patreon. So consider joining us this month. $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/Spitball Media. You can join in on the Q&A. The link is up already for the Patreon. We're heading over there now. We got a ton of fun stuff to cover. Fun time hanging out with everybody. Love you guys in the chat. We'll see you next week on a regular Thursday here at Spitball Media.